Hey, welcome in to the Mystery Fifth Hour. It is presented by McCurry Van Car Rentals. You can see more at McCurryRentals.com. That is McCurryRentals.com. We're coming off the Independence Day holiday as we tape this. That is Lance Taylor. That is Jim Dunaway. I'm Ryan Brown. That is the rock star Sean Henniger. Are you guys fireworks people? Because
I used to be as a kid.
This discussion came up in my group.
Yeah, I used to be as a kid and loved the bottle rockets. We used to have bottle rocket wars with the Flints. You guys find that hard to believe in Forest Brook. I remember a roof did catch on fire one time.
Of course it did. We'll do a great song right now.
We had Shane found this pipe, so that was our pipe. So we'd shoot the bottle rockets, so you could really aim, and you could hit people in the chest.
I've shot them just out of my hand, like light them and hold them.
You wait until it's up in the paper, and then you let it go. It's perfect timing.
That sound.
Yeah, but so I loved them back in the day. But as far as watching them, I could give a rat's ass.
It depends on location. Like my favorite one, maybe
Madrid.
The kids were younger. We were down at the Point. What's the Grand
Clear?
Hotel?
Yeah.
And they were basically going off right above us. That's good. Anytime on the coast is good. But I don't search them out here in Birmingham. No.
So, how about you?
No, I used to live across the street from Vulcan. I lived there for like 5 years.
Wasn't it?
And the thing to observe, I probably witnessed it my first year I lived there. I was like, this is going to be pretty cool. It's literally across the street. I didn't really care for it. It was really loud. But there's I think the Board of Education is next door.
Yeah.
And people would start with their kids, start putting lawn chairs out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's
Now
right.
imagine having small kids wait until 9 o'clock.
I mean,
just getting your good spot for the entire day. Just
and
sitting out there.
It's red hot out there.
And people
I'd
were like,
rather go burn an old sofa.
oh, it
than
was
something like
unbelievable. There's
that.
nothing to do. And you'd see on 280 where people just start lining up at 6 p.m.
Yeah, we were at some friend's house, and the discussion came up that we want to go see the fireworks. And me and the other husband said, I'll tell you what, fireworks shows are one and the same to me. I've seen probably 30 of them in my lifetime. That'll be the rest of my life. I mean, there's no difference. What's the
Do
difference?
they still play Lee Greenwood?
They do. It's the same exact playlist. And what's really cool is people recording it on their phones because that's something. And I like to post it on social media of me doing woo like this stuff like that.
And by the
That's
way,
kinda cool.
it never looks good on your phone. Like
Really?
But do you know that around the country, especially out west, drones are replacing the fireworks
Yeah, they
shows?
do drone shows. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is they're 5 times more expensive for the good ones.
That is a problem, and you can't charge admission.
And they
Wait,
just
so you
drone
have
They don't
like
start
on-
forest fires.
Is it like multiple people operating different drones that are like?
No, they're all
It's
computer operated.
computer operated.
Okay.
And they form like
I
the
like the
statue.
last thing said.
Well, they have those drone wars or whatever.
Left.
Larry!
Oh, you're left.
They got drone wars, don't they?
It's computerized, but it forms like the Statue of Liberty, the American flag,
Yeah.
and some of them actually make it look like a firework is
It's
going
basically the drone version of the old Stone Mountain show. You remember the old Stone Mountain show?
on.
Does it have a sound or is it just all?
No, you can't really hear them.
That's not really
The
cool.
funny part about you asked about Lee Greenwood is 2 songs that are a staple in any of the radio stations that do the accompanying song. Born in the USA, which if you read the lyrics or just listen to that song, it is not at all about being born in the United States, being proud and being a patriot.
It's about the Vietnam War, isn't it?
It is very much a war protest song, yeah. And the other one that always cracks me up is Independence Day by Martina McBride, which is about a woman whose husband has beat her to the edge of her life, and she finally torches the house and moves on for her Independence Day. But it says Independence Day, so we're going to use it.
yeah.
for
I
the
think
July.
Lee Greenwood had better intentions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible song, but it was at least about,
It was a money grab.
pride in the United States.
He knew what he's doing.
It's
He knew
not
it for Canada, too.
It's not all I want for Christmas. Like Mariah Carey makes millions, but I wonder how much he's made on that one song.
I mean,
Enough.
don't you think
Or he's probably done. He probably sold it, 30 years ago.
he
What
could
if you
have?
If you could have bought that song for him,
But what made me think of it was I saw that Born in the USA hit number 8 on the Spotify charts, which I guess Springsteen gets more money because of that. I mean,
Did he write it?
or
Yeah.
whoever wrote it.
Springsteen.
He wrote it?
Born in the USA.
So, but,
but
like,
I
The
don't know.
writer gets 7 out of every 10 cents, right? 7 cents out
See, I
of
don't
every
know.
10.
Different artists like an artist like me probably gets 7 fractions of a penny for a play on, but I don't know somebody huge like Bruce Springsteen because they got to have a deal where they're like, oh, release, because there were some holdouts like Tool, Peter Gabriel, the Beatles Zeppelin held out for a long time before they agreed to streaming stuff. So I'm just curious what they agreed on rights-wise.
Well, I think Garth Brooks is exclusively Amazon.
He's the only one that's not on. Like,
Yeah,
I think he's the
he's
only
got to
big
do with
artist.
Amazon Music, but you have to have even a premium
Yeah.
Amazon Music. But my point is, like, let's say Born in the USA is 320th last week, but it's 8th this week. Like he gets a bigger check because it's 8th, right?
It's just like whenever whoever does the Super Bowl that next
Yeah.
week, you're just massive.
So your
street
answer is Lee Greenwood probably gets a good check at the end of July.
I would guess.
It's probably his best check of the year is the end of July. Much like Mariah Carey around Christmas.
Probably so.
McCurry Van Car Rentals. If you need to rent a car, truck, or van, rent from McCurry Van Car Rental. They're your local rental company you can depend on. They've got all kinds of vehicles to choose from. That includes trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. And they make it super easy to rent. They get you in and out fast. They've got locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and right there in Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That is McCurryRentals.com. They're consistently in the history of our show, and we've been doing this show together now for more than 13 years. And there is one thing that inevitably will slam the brakes on our live show, and that's when food comes up.
Huey Lewis. Oh.
Not Huey
Yeah,
Lewis.
and music.
Not, food and music. I mean, movies, TV shows, but food, I think, is the number one offender.
I would agree. And I think it has to do with our time that we're on live.
Yeah, we're always hungry, right?
Always hungry, because
Yeah.
we never really get to eat during the show.
No, I mean, I eat a Cliff Bar for lunch almost every single day.
Yeah.
And that is about as boring as you can get for lunch, but it's about all I can do. So food is always on our mind at this time of day, and it always puts the brakes on the show.
Truthfully, it was when we did the breakfast show too,
No doubt.
in the morning.
Yeah, I was hungry
yeah.
then too. I was looking forward to lunch already.
And
And at least
short
then
ti-
I knew I was going to get lunch.
the short time in the afternoon, we were already thinking about dinner. So food is traditionally, no matter what time.
So I'm always hungry doing this show. But today on the Mystery Fifth Hour, food is going to be the main topic, Lance.
Yeah, so I was at the lake this past weekend, and I was there for a couple of nights. And the couple that I was staying with, they're infamous for eating late dinners. Like, what would be a late dinner for you guys?
It's 7 o'clock.
I mean, I can eat at 6. I can eat at 7. I can eat at 8. I've eaten at
I
9
can't eat at
before.
8:12.
9 is
Okay,
it can be okay.
I took my first bite at 11:34 p.m.
No, that's a little late.
That's
Yeah.
very late.
That's
No, but
very New
it's-
York or European.
It's
What time do they go to bed?
1:30.
What time do they get up?
1:30.
No, I mean 7, 8.
That's a weird schedule.
It's a weird schedule,
Yeah.
but it never fails. And like the second night we ate at like 10:30, and we were like blown away.
Okay,
But we
early bird, damn.
I've eaten as late as past midnight. But anyway, I started thinking about
God, I'd be
waiting for the
starving.
food.
How do you get to that? Like, how do you make it? You got to snack all evening? What time do they eat lunch?
Well, I mean, I think it's more of a liquid diet with most people, and so
Yeah.
you're just
Well, don't you need some food with that?
probably, but
They just ignore that.
I mean, I think we snack a little bit.
7 o'clock is late for me because we normally eat dinner at the Brown House. We normally eat dinner around 5.
Yeah,
5?
That's normal dinner time for me.
I like about 5:30 or 6.
Yeah, I like 6 is pushing it.
Yeah.
7 is like, what has happened? Why are
So
we
you-
doing
It's already tomorrow.
If you went and like you just went down to the lake and you're staying with these people and you have no idea, and dinner,
I at some point I'd ask. Or offer like, hey, I'm going to run out and grab dinner. Like, clearly I've missed it here.
I was lucky though. I did bring a taco box from Taco Mama,
Yeah.
so ate on that a little bit in between. Anyway, so I started thinking.
11:30 is the fourth meal for me. I mean,
I
that's
know.
like
That's
Waffle
right.
House or Taco Bell. Or
See, my
something.
fourth meal has become middle of the night. Like I got up the other night and I had just salami and sriracha mayo, and I would.
It's like you're permanently in a snowstorm.
Well,
You're
it's
eating
like
anything you
the
find.
first thing I see when I get to the fridge. So I got this salami, sriracha mayo, and then I
Are
had
you
some
eating with the
pita
fridge
chips.
door open still?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, just like
yeah.
Scratching his balls.
So anyway, I got to thinking about
Do
weird
you
things.
do a brush your teeth before you go back to bed after the salami in
I
the
don't
middle
think
of the
so.
night?
No.
That is some morning breath.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Well,
sure.
but it's kicking.
Did
Did you just drag the salami through it, or how'd you?
No, so the salami was like freshly cut, and so it was in the circles. And I just pulled it all out of the bag, and I got me a plate, and I put the sriracha
so
mayo on it.
squeeze mayo?
And then
Yeah.
I was just dipping it in it, and then I was eating the pita chips.
Yeah.
Edibles are a powerful thing, my
They
friend.
clearly are.
But I started thinking about things I used to eat that I thought was really normal that I would never eat again. And one of the first things I thought about, and I don't even know if they sell them, I guess they still do, Vienna sausages.
yes, they do.
Lance, I loved them.
I did too, and I would, you pop the top, but they had
little
like
dicks.
barbecue flavored, They had, I think Hormel was the brand
Well,
I
I
would
tell you, I
get.
think I just went normal flavored. I don't even remember the.
I remember the
additional
normal,
flavors.
but I remember barbecue. There were some other flavors too, but I'd stick a toothpick in it, pull it out, that with that slime on it. And I'll
used to
never
love it.
forget one time we were coming back from the beach, and we had a bet, and I was in a Honda Civic. I'll never forget this, and it was me and 2 other guys, and the bet was, could me and the other dude that was in the back, could we finish? I think it was a case of beer from the state line from Alabama to Birmingham.
Okay.
And him and I had to finish the case. So we were pumping it, and we hit that 31 exit where Royal is right there.
Yeah.
And when we passed that, my buddy in the back had eaten Vienna sausages
God, no.
and threw up all over.
Did that end it for you?
I'd already finished mine.
No, like eating Vienna sausages.
come out
for the
chunks?
rest of your life.
Yeah,
I think the taste ended
that
it
was the
for
last time I ever. And so I was sophomore or junior in college. That was the last time I ate them.
Just seeing him do that.
But I used to think it was so normal. I mean, I would eat Vienna sausages
Did you go
once a week
cracker
at
with it?
least.
Yeah, I go
Sometimes.
saltine. Sometimes just go normal saltine.
Because my grandmother would always, and I occasionally would have to eat this too, but she would put potted meat, which I think is Vienna sausage, just smushed together. Like probably all the stuff after they made the cute little Vienna sausage.
Oh, you just
all,
put it in a blender.
all the stuff that has fallen off of that as they're making those cute weenies. I think they put it together in a can for the potted
band
meat
name.
is what it was called, potted meat. And she'd spread that on crackers.
I'll tell you another thing.
Are you sure she was eating souse meat? Have you ever heard of souse meat?
I think the same, no, but this
But it's
is,
pretty much the same thing. Souse meat's all the leftovers after the meat's cut.
this is called.
And they just,
Help me out in the chat room, but I think it was called potted meat.
okay.
It
Billy
was a
Bob
small
Thornton
little can.
talks about it in Sling Blade. They eat some potted
Give
meat.
us a thumbs up
You know,
while you're in that chat room, by the way.
Another thing that I guess would be considered semi-potted meat, I used to eat. This was one of our in-rotation dinners growing up. Again, Homewood is not what Homewood used to be. I mean, it's totally night and day. But one of our go-to meals was Kraft mac and cheese out of the box and fried Spam.
That actually sounds pretty good.
That was my plate.
I think I could do that right
So
now.
Spam was the entree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spam was just a big piece of Spam.
Oh, you didn't put it in the mac and cheese.
That's what I thought for a
Okay.
second, yeah.
No.
Oh, y'all want sophisticated. Okay.
No.
And
Was
you fried the Spam.
Yep.
Was it the blue box Kraft mac
Yeah.
and cheese like I make for my
Oh,
kids?
Yeah.
I love the Kraft mac and cheese still. I can still eat that. But
it's
the
still
Spam,
good, yeah.
I can taste the Spam thinking
Because
about it.
that cheese and that big ass condiment packet. they used to rip up.
But that's better than the powdery one.
Oh, yes,
I
I
don't
could
like
do-
the powdery one.
I love Kraft mac and cheese. I can do Velveeta too.
Do you know I've never had Spam?
Never had Spam.
Never had Spam.
You're not missing anything.
I think if you had Vienna sausage, you had
I've had
just
Spam.
Spam in a
That was
different
the-
form or fashion.
But did you probably ate Spam as a meal?
Yeah, I've had
On
Spam before.
Thanksgiving.
With a
Damn, bringing out the big guns.
holiday, we had the Spam loaf with a pineapple stuck in it.
Jim, you had the best year. You get your whole can. I get the whole can this time.
God bless us all.
It had a devil as a mascot, as a logo.
It was devil's food.
It was roast beef spread.
Devil's food. Yeah, it was
No,
like
it was the roast beef spread. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. One of them was chicken, one of them was beef.
Yeah, I used to eat the roast beef spread. That's the one I was going
on
to
a
mention.
sandwich. Yeah.
Would you do it just on white bread with mayo?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Tomato if we had it, but yeah.
Well, we got a lot better options now.
No,
don't
I
we?
used to love that stuff though, Dunaway, and it was like in a Spam can.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
had
yeah.
like a paper wrapping, and you would tear the paper
It had
off.
paper wrapping. Yeah.
Yep.
Had a little red devil logo on it. Yep.
Roast beef spread.
That was it for me. And I mentioned to Maggie, it was actually us at leaving church the other day. We were going to the place I sent you the brisket sandwich and the chicken biscuit pictures from brunch. And we were waiting on our food to come, and I said, let's start doing this before I die. And she hates when I talk about before I die.
Such a Dunaway line.
You'll never start doing
She
it.
goes, you're so morbid. And I'm like, baby, I'm gonna die, so let's do this before I die.
True.
And we can make it Wednesday nights. Let's start having my old trailer park meals. We'll just rotate them until we're out of them on Wednesdays. And she's
What's
like,
today?
It's Wednesday.
Oh, that's
We're
cool.
having tonight.
she was like, what would that consist of? And I said, the first one that pops to mind for me is we get a half a pound of hamburger meat and hamburger helper, the one with the little fake potato disc. I don't know which one it was. And that can be our Wednesday night meal. And she goes, you would not eat that if I served it to you naked, was her quote. You would not eat that if I served it to you naked. And I said, I bet I would. So we'll see tonight what I'm having for dinner.
You know,
What
I
I'm
used-
having for dinner?
so
what am I having
that
for dinner
reminds me,
tonight?
I thought you were going to go Sloppy Joe's.
get taken.
And like as a kid, I hated Sloppy Joe's, but when I had them as an adult, I was like, damn, that's not
Well,
bad.
what
But
is-
nobody has Sloppy
I never
Joe's
thought about
anymore.
it, but what is the sloppy Joe? Was it just ground meat and ketchup
I
or
think it's
barbecue
ketchup,
sauce?
yeah.
Yeah, there was a Sloppy Joe mix that you get at the store.
Manwich.
Manwich, that was it.
Yeah.
My problem with it is some people would put something in it, a spice, or maybe it was a green pepper or something that turned me off of that. But I think,
No, I know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking
Yep.
about? That just didn't make it taste as good as it could have
I think
tasted.
it was green pepper.
There was one little flavor in it. I was like, this would be damn good if that one thing wasn't in there. This is redneck of me. Have you ever? No, I don't like when Maggie makes the spaghetti sauce from scratch. I like our hamburger meat with the what is it out of a jar?
Prego.
Prego, yeah.
No,
just
ragu?
You eat
cheap.
Prego?
Just the cheap
Ragu?
ass. Yeah, just our hamburger meat, but just out of the jar. I mean, that tastes, it eat good. That tastes just as good for me.
No, the ragu, cold ragu too. I like my marinara cold.
We may be the only family that runs out of pasta before we run out of that. So I'll go back.
I've always got extra pasta.
I'll double back, and I will get the hamburger buns, and I'll make me a spaghetti sloppy joe of the leftover
I could do
hamburger
that.
meat and the
I've done that.
ragu.
I've done
I could do that.
And eat a sandwich with that. That's
So
good eating there.
Jennifer uses the, it's called Saccaroni, Paul Newman.
Yeah.
It's Newman's own. And then she puts in spicy Italian sausage and black olives.
I don't like black olives or spicy Italian sausage.
Ooh, I
You're
like
not,
both.
you don't need to come to my house for spaghetti night.
Yeah.
It's
I
good.
do.
Hey, it's good, man. You're
Maggie-
welcome anytime.
When Maggie makes it homemade, it includes some kind of leaf in it.
Bay leaf.
Bay leaf.
leaf. I
It
don't like
drives
that.
me
Me
crazy.
too, because I don't think it adds that much flavor. And occasionally you're gonna get the bay leaf. in your
Inevitably, I get it.
I think it's more
And I'm
about
always
saying,
mouth.
I made this meal tonight and we topped it with bay leaf.
Yeah, I mean, who needs bay leaf? Real quick, I'll tell you mine. But before I do that, you mentioned sloppy joes. A dish that I can't make when Jennifer's at home because she hates the smell and the look of it. And it's from my childhood. Is you just take ground beef, brown it, and I mix in barbecue sauce, brown sugar, and baked beans.
Oh.
And then I take hamburger buns and I just do it over the hamburger buns. Sometimes I'll toast the hamburger buns, and that's all. It just spoon
It
out of
sounds
hamburger buns.
good.
It's phenomenal, Lance. Jennifer hates the smell of it. Like she can come home hours after I've eaten it. She's like, "You made that again, didn't you?"
Yeah.
I'm like, God,
Probably
can
because
smell
you
that?"
shit a stream after that.
Yeah, I do not. In fact, mine
But like we did beanie weenies, but
that's basically what it is. It's just ground beef instead of the weenie.
I never liked them when I didn't like the taste of the weenies when they were in the can. So we would take the pork and beans and chop up our hot dogs.
Van Camp's.
Yeah, Van Camp pork and beans. Pull out the little piece of white fat. Don't even know what that was. I'd throw it in the sink. But then I would chop up my own hot dog weenies and then cook that together.
Do you remember this?
I thought that was high living. That I wasn't going to eat their weenies.
Do you remember showboat baked beans? Had the showboat on the side.
Yes.
Mine, though, that I used to dominate when I was a kid, and then my little one wanted them one day at the store, so Jennifer bought them. I used to love the SpaghettiOs with the meatballs in them. Loved them. Ate them all the time.
SpaghettiOs are awful. I used to eat them all the time too.
Lance, I used to eat them all the time as a kid. So
It tastes
then
just like a can.
When Hallie got them, I was like, all right, I'm going to share these with her. So I heated them up. She ate them. I made me a little bowl. I took one bite. And I was like, this is awful. Either they've gotten worse over time or they were that bad then.
Have they taken the salt out of them or
Jim,
something?
I don't know, but they were awful. And I used to eat them all the time.
Because as late as me living with Mango and Shug at Sherwood Forest,
You're a little giant.
over there in the house, I mean, that's what I would eat for lunch. I'd get a couple of slices of white bread and a can of SpaghettiOs.
How many times did y'all get lucky to saying you lived in Sherwood Forest?
Hey, it was the music hall days. Let's go back to Sherwood Forest.
You know, I remember one of the last times I threw up was when I was living in LA. No, this is back to this.
Last time I had a finger in my.
It
wait.
was 96 that summer, but I had eaten the Waldo SpaghettiOs for lunch, and I threw them up that night.
Did you find Waldo?
They were all over. That's why I remember it.
What
They
is
were
Waldo?
Waldo's. You know, Waldo the character.
Where's Waldo?
It was just
The
a
noodle was shaped like that.
Yeah.
Oh, like where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Oh, the only ones I ever ate were the was SpaghettiO the brand? Was that the brand name?
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee.
But they just
Chef Boyardee, yeah.
randomly. It's not like as an adult I wanted Waldo SpaghettiOs, but they just had them, and so I got them, and I
let me tell you,
threw up
man.
Waldo all over the show.
I thought it was going to be like yesterday on July the 4th for lunch. Jennifer, because we're going to eat a really big dinner, and I knew that. We were going to some friend's house. She had bought a tomato, and she just sliced a tomato, and I ate a tomato sandwich. And I was like, that tastes like my childhood. Because I used to eat tomato sandwiches all the time as a kid. And that's what I thought I was going to get with the SpaghettiOs. I could not have been more disappointed. They were awesome.
Mine I didn't eat. I was a terrible eater. Vienna sausage is one of mine. But what brings to mind is what my wife does to our son, who is now 14 months. She gives him the most exquisite meal every day. She wants him to he eats guacamole, he eats avocado. We'll go to a Mexican restaurant. She'll just spoon feed him avocado. It makes me gag. Just even
Damn, he got over titty milk quick. Didn't he?
he did. Watching it, nobody ever does. But today,
You want it back.
we were running back because Bethany will text me. Like they always laugh about. We have a little group text talking about our son when they're watching him, and she says it's always they love the great reveal when they get to their house because Nancy packs his lunch. And today we were running late because I'm getting him dressed and I can hear her turn the stove on and I hear grilling. I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I didn't have anything. I'm just going to make him a quick beef and cheese quesadilla for.
Oh my God.
He is 14 months.
Does he have
old.
teeth?
I don't. Yes, he has teeth, but just like I would never have that. Like I'm always like Vienna sausage, but like giving him stuff like that. And Bethany goes like, we love just opening the top to see what he has. A grilled beef and cheese quesadilla.
Did you say I'm going to work where you make two?
Yeah.
Because I don't
No,
know.
it's interesting that most kids have still just the kid taste, where they want a cheese quesadilla, cheese pizza.
That's what she's
pepperoni
trying
pizzas.
to avoid, because I was
Yeah.
like,
No, that's great.
I'll give him like goldfish, and she'll get pissed at me. Like, no, no bread until he has this.
And Jack's a little older at 15, but I was talking about on the show today that we were at the lake and we went by went by the landing, and he tried sushi for the first time. Like, he'll try anything.
That's crazy.
But like I wouldn't have given you. Remember, it was a big joke in the Breakfast Club that I watched again this past weekend that Claire brings sushi for lunch.
You won't accept a guy's tongue in your mouth, you're gonna eat that.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason Wells used to bring something called kipper. Have you ever seen kipper?
Nope.
No.
Sounds like a bad fish.
It is. It's fish. It was like in a almost like a rectangular can, and you would
Sardines.
Those are sardines.
It's like
Those are
sardines.
It's not sardines. It's called
But
kipper.
a sardines can, though.
Yeah, it's like a sardines can where you twist it back, and it smelled awful. And you eat that and saltine crackers at Sachs Middle School.
There's a local salad that I used to love, and then I came to the conclusion they put anchovies in their sauce and in the salad dressing, and I can't eat it anymore.
But, you know, this happened to me just recently. You remember Bryant used to be with Bruno's event team. I can't remember her first name. Anyway, Jessica Bryant. I saw her in Homewood after going by Blakely's Bouquets, and I needed lunch. And she's like, "Oh, sneak into this place. It's sneaky good, and get the fried chicken salad."
Okay.
And I said, "That sounds great." So I go in there, and they fry you up a big, well-crusted piece of chicken, bone out, and then they put it on a great salad. And I would eat it. Chicken's good. The salad's good. And then there's a little aftertaste to the dressing. And I was like, it's sort of mayonnaise-y, salty mayonnaise. Then I'd eat another bite of chicken, and it was good.
Salty mayonnaise is
Then
the
at the
worst.
end, I was like, it's just a horrible aftertaste and burping. And I asked the waitress, I was like, it was wonderful. Just like my friend said, just a little something off
Feces.
about the dressing. And she goes, "Oh, do you not like anchovies?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I do not." And that's what it was.
So,
it
but
was,
I
it
don't
was
get
just
it.
off.
So you like the place and you like what you're
I
eating
like
until
the
you found out
salad.
anchovies were in it.
No, until it just felt like a strong, and so then I asked,
Oh,
and they
so,
were like,
yeah.
and then I just tasted too much. It's the first taste I have.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it was perfectly fine, except a little aftertaste. Everybody, I was like, God, it's just a little off. This is fantastic. And then it
Like
was
a little
hitting me, I'd
green
be like,
pepper and a manwich.
You know what I had yesterday on the 4th for the first time in a long time was we got a watermelon.
I love watermelon.
I haven't had watermelon with salt on it in ages.
I love it.
And so I was
like it
given
as
a
much with
piece.
salt on it.
I didn't. I was like, damn.
My granddad used to eat it with a salt shaker in his hand, and he'd like pick up
Yes.
a piece. And
I think it's better without the salt.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to get green plums, and I would just a little pile of white salt here, bite the green plum.
Oh yeah.
Eat
If you
the
had to
green
give up
plums.
sugar or salt for the rest of your life,
Sugar.
man, that's tough.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff you eat and you don't.
And I don't add salt to anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
I wouldn't want food without salt in it.
That's
though.
what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of stuff like if the salt were taken out, you're like, boy, this tastes awful.
Like even my steak, I put a little sea salt on it. Not a ton, but a little sea salt on it, a little pepper on it. I don't put sugar on anything. I
Do you
try
ever
to
have
avoid
yellow watermelon?
I've had it.
Yeah.
I think so.
I just
It tastes the same, doesn't it?
I think so, right?
Yeah.
It's just
I remember it as a kid. I haven't had it in a long time, but I've seen yellow watermelon.
so on this Independence Day, as we do this after this, my friend Mike, they did crawfish, all the vegetables that go with it. He grilled some chicken, and then I took a New York butcher pork. But All great foods, probably should not be mixed together.
Yeah.
It was churning in my stomach by last night. But I didn't even know he did all this. He's the cook of this house. He grows his own habanero peppers, bought some apricots, and made this apricot habanero pepper jam.
Sounds phenomenal.
And
Chutney?
poured it over one of those little cream cheese logs.
Oh, yeah.
And we were, spreading that on a cracker.
Yes, sir.
I could eat that stuff
Yeah,
all
that
day
sounds good.
long.
Phenomenal
It
right
was
there.
delicious,
Yeah.
delicious.
All right, that is the Mystery Fifth Hour. It's presented by McCurry Van Car Rental. If you need a car, van, or truck, rent from McCurry Van Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from that includes trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. They get you in and out easy and fast in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That is McCurryRentals.com. Please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Make sure you have subscribed to our channel if you're just lurking around. It helps us a lot if you go ahead and subscribe. Set your alerts so you know when we're live. That's 9 to 1 every single weekday. And you can follow us on all social media at Next Round Live. Thank you for joining us on the Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry.